Good afternoon, my friend, and welcome to the XCAL Racing Heat Race number 1 for the St. Jude's Charity 150 live from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. My name is PDJ Zeller, the voice of XCAL Racing, and you're listening to Telesign TV. As always, the camera work done by the wonderful Tanner Kalin. We are getting ready for Heat Race 104, as I said, for tomorrow's St. Jude Charity 150 for the XCAL Racing organization. And this should be a good one. XCAL Racing has a goal to at least raise $500 for the St. Jude's Children Research Hospital. And I believe they're at $390 right now, and that's even before the green flag waves on the feature tomorrow, so we're doing a good job. So make sure you, if you have the chance, donate. There's a link in the description. Click that and donate. If you make a donation, it'll update live on the broadcast. So go ahead, help us make a difference. Donate to St. Jude's. I'll be talking about that a lot this weekend, as this race, 150 laps, as you might note, is a little bit shorter than usual for an XCAL event. That's just because this is more about the charity aspect of it than it is about the racing aspect of it, although a little secret between you and me, my friend, this probably will still be a pretty darn good race anyways, because XCAL rules are still in effect. The best of the best in the XCAL business are still coming out to race, and this should be a doozy for sure, as qualifying wraps up here in Heat Race number 1. In a moment, I will take you down through the field of 26 that are going to attempt to qualify. 26 will start, 10 will transfer to tomorrow's St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital 150. As we get ready to get things underway here, all your XCAL news you'll be updated on. We had an off week last week. We took an off week for the U.S. election. A lot of our drivers are from the United States, so we wanted everyone to take the time to focus, sit with their families, and watch what can only be described as a historic election. And now that we are past that, or I guess we're really not past that, but now that we're trying to ignore that, we are ready for some more XCAL racing. So as the last few seconds in qualifying tick, I'm going to take you down to the starting grid. Alright, here we go. Starting on pole position. That is, position number 1 will be the number 77 of Octavio Rondoletto. On his outside in second will be the 07 of Kyle Streichars, and those two actually ran the same exact time, a 36.356, so a tie, but the tie goes to the Rondoletto. Rondoletto on the pole. Third place will be Steven Rex. Fourth place, Mike Stockton. Fifth will be Cody Jones in the 707. Sixth will be the 53 of Chadwick Rigby. Seventh will be the 01 of John Schwartz. Eighth will be the 24 of Douglas Newbigging. Ninth will be the 7 of Jeff Edgar, and 10th will be the 14 of James Stockton. 11th will be the 188 of Bentley Glazer. 12th will be the 11 of Nick Ludiger. 13th will be the 42 of Austin G. 14th will be the 20 of Jose Gaudino. 15th will be the 67 of Adam Padilla. 16th will be the 45 of Travis Sukup. 17th will be the 52 of Marty Zakala. 18th will be the 36 of Casey Clark Jr. 19th will be the 127 of Drew Chance. And 20th will be the Todd B. Cummings 112. 21st will be Jay DeBuke in the 17. 22nd will be the 22 of Scott Kilberry. 23rd will be the 12 of Austin Carter. 24th will be the 09 of Andres Ruiz. 25th will be the 020 of Simon Spriggs. And 26th will be the number 15 of Bo Botcher. And that'll be your starting field for Heat Race number 1 for the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital 150, presented by XCAL Racing. So as we go down through the field, looking at some of the bigger storylines throughout the field, our pole setter, Octavio Rondoletto, he is actually 2 weeks ago's feature winner from the Irwindale Speedway. XCAL Racing went to Irwindale for 300 laps 2 weeks ago, and Octavio Rondoletto probably led about 220 of those laps, I would say. The 77 car was dominant at that track, and while he was contested late in the going by Luke Turpin, and I believe he did get contested 1 point by Kenny Tripp, anytime that race broke out into a long run, the 77 car was scooting away from the field, and really no one had any answers for Octavio Rondoletto there. However, today we are at the Charlotte Speedway, a super speedway restrictor plate racing here today, and I have a feeling that you won't just see the 77 scooting away, and if there is, there's some sort of problem with that. So keep an eye on the field for this to be a good, fun, and competitive race. My 3 keys to the race are, number 1, keep your car out in front. If your car's in front of the pack, it's impossible for you to get in any sort of accident. It's impossible for you to get damaged. So keep that machine ahead of the rest. My second key to success is keep the car clean. Aerodynamics are big here at Charlotte. If you're beating and banging and you knock a quarter panel off this car, you're going to have no sort of aerodynamic help as this race goes on, so you got to keep the fenders clean on this thing. And finally, number 3, my biggest key to the race, my biggest key to success, don't be afraid of the high side. Too many times when we go to Charlotte, these guys are afraid to go up top. They don't think they can get a good enough run. Let me tell you what, my friend. With this plate setup, if you can get a good side draft, if you can get nice and close to that car on the inside, you can hold a pretty line, you can make the pass on the high side, but you got to have the balls to go up there. You got to race fearlessly. You got to be able to pull it off. So here the field comes through 3 and 4. The field is at the mercy of the Rondoletto 77. The iRacing Ford Mustang leads them off the corner, and now that same Ford Mustang is going to make that hard left-hand turn, and Octavio Rondoletto brings the crowd to their feet as 26 street stocks will duel for 10 transfer spots. Here they come. Green flag in the air. We are down and away. Rondoletto gets the early jump. He takes the top spot away from Strychars as I trip over my tongue a little bit there. Don't worry, I've been out of the game for 2 weeks too, just like these drivers have, but we all need to get back in the groove. Best battle on the racetrack right now is that 13 of Stephen Rex and the 707 of Cody Jones. Rex on the high side, Jones down low. That's for about the 4th and 5th positions. That's Stockton on the high side. Not John Stockton, you Utah Jazz fans. That's Mike Stockton up there making it work. Stockton continues to ride the high side. He has the position for a quick moment over Jones. Jones having a hard time pulling that one back in. One thing to note about the XCAL Racing restrictor plate setup is that this setup is very, very free and loose for about the first 2 laps. So all these cars are probably loose, getting sideways, having a tough time getting up to speed. So keep an eye on everyone to maybe just take it easy and not try to do anything too crazy here. It actually looks like we already had the 77 of Marty Zakala almost go around in turn 3 and 4. So that's what I'm saying. This car just steps out from you. It's loose for the first couple laps. It's important to keep the car under you and mind your P's and Q's, really. Once the tires get warm, you can do some racing. That's why we're seeing mostly single file right now. Stephen Rex goes into the outside wall as they go 3 wide for about the 7th position. That's Jeff Edgar on the inside, and that is the 53 of Chadwick Rigby, and Rigby on the outside will clear Rex, so now it's 2 wide once again. Edgar down low, Rigby on the high side, that's for the 6th spot. Right in front of them, John Schwartz is going to run in 5th, although that 01 car looks like it might be having some sort of issues there. We'll keep an eye on the 01. All single file in the top 5. No one really trying to make any moves up there yet. Rondoletto is actually keeping about a 1 to 2 length car advantage over the field right now. No one's been able to get too close to Octavio. He's been doing a good job running that car up front. Looking back now is looking for the first battle on the track. It's still Rigby versus Edgar where things start to get exciting. I remember 10 cars transfer, so looking at the 10 cars that would transfer right now, it's that battle between Austin Gee and Douglas Newbigging. They're racing for 10th. Now John Schwartz is dropping back. The 01 of Schwartz, I think, is heating way to the leaders due to his issues, and that'll move Nick Ludiger up into a transfer spot. There is about 2 separate packs that have formed here. Ludiger is the last car in the first pack, and now that Schwartz is backed off, there's 11 cars in the lead pack, so 11 cars going for 10 spots. We'll see if any of these guys really race too hard, knowing that they're all in transfer spots. If you think about it in reality, there's no reason to go too hard for any of these top 10 spots. I mean, we're all racers, we're all competitors, everyone wants to win the race. Anytime you see the green flag, you want to be the first one to see the checkered flag. However, becoming a great endurance driver, becoming a great driver in a league like XCAL where we have 300-lap feature events, you got to learn when to race and when not to race. And to be honest with you, whenever you're in a heat race, if you're running about 4th or 5th and you know you got a fast car, you know that Billy Joel song, the Gamblers, so you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them. That's kind of the case here. You got to know when to hold them, and you got to know when to hold back what you got from the field. If you know you got something good, maybe you don't want to let everyone know in heat race number 1, hey, I'm this good and I can do this to you in the future. Maybe you just take that 4th place transfer spot, and then come feature time, you say, hey, Mr. Rondoletto, by the way, know when to run away. And that we will see come feature time. If any of these guys are hiding anything. Well, me looking at the guys we have racing right now is we have a battle for 2nd for me. I don't think anyone's holding back much right now. Strychar's on the inside, gets loose. That is Chadwick Rigby, who started 6th and has already moved his way up to 3rd, battling for 2nd. Rigby with no help on the high side. Like I said, one of my biggest keys to this race was race on the high side. Don't be afraid of it. Well, Chadwick Rigby has not been afraid of it whatsoever so far. Rigby on that high side race is door-to-door, paper-thin margin between him and the 07 car, and the 53 on the high side just can't quite find any bit of run here as they draw about even down the backstretch. Rigby, though, showing us that he can hold a nice wheel as now these two start to reel in the 77 Rondoletto. And oh, the 07 goes up the racetrack. He gets into the 53. Can the 53 of Rigby hang on? No, he does not. Well, actually, he does, but they wreck behind him. Caution is out. Chadwick Rigby net-coated the door of Stephen Rex and caused a big one. So we'll load up that replay for you as we get the first caution of the race here on lap number 7. And as we get that one up for you, like I said, Rigby and the 07 of Strychars were racing awfully close for about the 2nd spot, and that's a big thing, especially around 3 p.m. Eastern time. A netcode becomes a big issue, and they were just racing so close that I think they didn't even touch. I think Strychars got him with some netcode. As you guys now see the replay, yeah, actually it does look like Strychars didn't even touch him. Looks like a little netcode. And then it almost looks like the 53 net-coated again into the 28 of Stephen Rex. And then Rex with just nowhere to go, murdered the outside wall. His car went flipping violently. Looking at who else was collected in that. Looks like Cody Jones might have got a little piece of that. I know I saw another car go into the wall. That's Austin Gee in the 42 who got a piece of that. Really, though, looks like no one besides Stephen Rex is going to be too worse for wear after that one. So looks like everyone will be okay. And except for Stephen Rex, obviously. Even Chadwick Rigby, who was the guy that got the initial contact, he still runs in 4th right now. Now, of course, that is if race control decides not to penalize him. From what I saw from my perspective, though, that did look like pure net code, though. I would probably find it hard to believe that he will get penalized. So we will keep an eye on the 53, see if anything happens there. As on the back of that car, it's funny, I know he's not one of the dropping bombs teammates, but it says bombs away on the back of that machine. So maybe he's trying to get Tyler McRae to take a look at him and say, hey, you know what? We need one more car on this team. All right, well, I'm going to go take a 30-second timeout, catch my breath, grab a drink of water. Don't go anywhere. We are going to identify our station here on Telesign TV. Welcome back live to heat race number 1 for the XCAL racing at St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital 150. My name's PDJ Zeller, the voice of XCAL Racing, and you're listening to Telesign TV as we are under our first caution here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway after an accident in turn number 3 between the 53 of Chadwick Rigby and the 28 of Stephen Rex. Rex has taken that car behind the wall. He is done for the evening. Also done after that accident were Bo Bochinger. He got a piece of that. Bentley Glazier took his car behind the wall. And Marty Zakala, he's not out of the race, but the Zakala 52 sits on pit road. They are doing excessive repairs to that car after he was involved in a different accident. I'll give you an updated top 10 as we continue to pace around. Running in first position, that is Octavio Rondoletto, who's led wire to wire so far. Second's Kyle Strychars. Third, Cody Jones. Fourth, Chadwick Rigby. Fifth, Jeff Edgar. Sixth, Mike Stockton. Seventh, Nick Ludige. Eighth, Douglas Newbigging. Ninth, John Schwartz. And 10th is Casey Clark Jr. Those are your 10 cars without transfer if this race ended right now. And here is 11th through 15th, your first 5 out. Andreas Ruiz, Jose Gaudino, Drew Chance, Travis Sukup, and Scott Kilberry. Those are the first 5 guys who would find themselves in transfer spots if something happened to 5 cars in the top 10. As we have 10 laps in the books here, that means there are 25 laps still to go to decide who transfers to tomorrow night's big show. Looking up front, I already talked about Rondoletto quite a bit. Let me talk a little bit about the guy in second, Kyle Streichars, and I feel like I haven't got a chance to talk about him a whole lot as we go 1 to green this time by. Over the last few weeks, he's had a good couple runs, though, and let me tell you what about Streichars. He's actually a guy that originates from the original XCAL in 2014. He ran back with XCAL Racing way back in the day. Found out about that we had things going again, decided to run a few races, and actually ended up getting signed by Tyler McRae and Dropping Bombs Racing. And he's been running pretty good so far. He had some good runs back in the day in 2014, too. A kid that's always been really excited, always amped to go for XCAL Racing. And I have a feeling that a victory awaits Streichars one of these days. He never won one in 2014. He didn't get one in 2015. And here we sit today. And Kyle Streichars, you know that feature event is just waiting for him. There's a couple guys in XCAL that are due for one. Derek Colston, he's due an XCAL feature win. His day is going to come eventually. Paul Coleman is due one on a super speedway. Eventually, Paul is going to win one of these things. And Streichars as well. He's one of those guys that's been a long time coming. And you know that his day is going to come. We go through 3 and 4. The field at the hands, once again, of Rondoletto. The top 2 have not changed since the start. It's been Rondoletto and Streichars since we got the green flag underway. Here we go, down into turn number 4. The iRacing Ford Mustang brings them off the corner. That same iRacing Ford Mustang makes the hard left-hand turn. The field at the mercy of the 77. Here we come. Green flag in the air. We're down and away. And Rondoletto with a nice jump. Streichars is going to follow suit. And now that they're past the line, he can drop down. So Streichars will remain second. Battle on for third between Rigby and Jones. Jones on the inside holds tight down there. Jones is now going to inch ahead of the 53. Remember, when these tires are cold, these cars are very loose. So for about a lap and a half, these guys are going to have a hard time getting them going. And we'll see if they can. So it's going to be Jones moving up in the third. Fourth will be Rigby. Fifth, the battle is on between Jeff Edgar and the 13, Mike Stockton. Stockton's had a good run so far in this one, just kind of biding his time up there towards the top 5. Stockton looks like he's going to adhere way to the 7 of Edgar, although he gets loose, and that allows the 24 of Newbigging to get underneath him. Newbigging lets off the gas to give him a hole, and the 13 will take it. Here we go now, battle for 4th. Jeff Edgar goes to the inside of the 53 of Chadwick Rigby. Rigby continues to run that high side. Now Rigby makes a move on Jones for 3rd. Rigby pulls up on Jones. Now he's going to try to pull up on Streichars for 2nd. Rigby's been the only car in this race so far that I've seen make that high line work, and Rigby, he's made it work oh so well up to this point. Rigby duels for the 2nd spot. Rigby on the high side. It's that bright yellow 07 of Streichars on the low side. And off the corner, it's going to be about dead heat, but Rigby has the momentum. Rigby carries the momentum down the straightaway, and now Streichars matches it. They both catch up to the 77 of Rondoletto, who's had a pretty uneventful race for leading at Charlotte, I must say. Normally when you're up front at Charlotte, you're constantly blocking, constantly being challenged for that spot. No one's really bet on the bumper of that 77 yet, and he's just kind of had things go his own way. Now Rigby inches ahead for 2nd, though. Now Rigby's going to pull up to the high side of the leader, the 77 of Rondoletto. Let's see if Rigby's got anything here. Remember the last time these two raced side by side, the 07 and 53. The 07 split up a little bit and got into the 53. Let's see if that happens again. The 07 gets into the grass a little bit there, gets loose, but he's going to hang on to it. The battle still burns on. Here they go down into turns 1 and 2, and Rigby draws all the way down into the 07's lane. That gets close. It gets awfully close and tight, but off the corner, it's going to be the 53 with a heck of a run down the backstretch, and now Rigby almost pulls ahead of Streichars. Rigby's going to pull up now next to that 77 of Rondoletto. Rigby trying to drive that car all the way through to the lead. It's going to be Chadwick Rigby on the high side. He has drove all the way from 6th to now challenging for the lead on that high side. And I said whoever had the balls to make that high side work this race would likely be the winner. And so far in this race, as we are about halfway through, it has been Chadwick Rigby who's been making all the big moves on the high side. He draws even with the 77 of Rondoletto. Rigby now, he doesn't ride that low the corner. He's going to let Streichars pull back up to him for 2nd. And a poor corner for Rigby will lose him all back around. He had finally learned on the 77. Although the 77, for the first time this race, everyone is all over him right now. Now Rigby draws down low. He's going to get the side draft off Streichars. Streichars gets tight. That causes Rigby to go higher than he wants, but Rigby still should have the momentum off the corner. And it's going to be Rigby as they head down to the start-finish line. It's going to be a dead heat for 2nd. I think Rigby had it by a bit. And it was Rigby by 2/1000ths of a second at the stripe that time by. halfway down, halfway to go, and oh, Strychar slides up into Rigby. Rigby gets into the fence, and Rigby's not going to be happy about that one. All that ground he worked so hard to gain, he's going to lose it. Rigby's going to drop down, and they are 4 wide for about 7th right now. That never works at Charlotte. Rigby's going to think better if he gets out of the way. Ludiger gets loose. Ludiger gets into 13, and Rigby's going to die. It's a big accident there, and an unfortunate break that really all started when Strychar has gotten to Rigby. It's going to bring out the second caution of this race at right about the halfway point. And you're seeing the replay now of what happened there, and yeah, Nick Ludiger in the middle. It's like he almost got nervous that he was going 3 wide into the corner. He slid up in the 13 of Stockton, got all sorts of loose, came back up into Stockton, sent Stockton around, and then yeah, just turned up right in front of Rigby. Ludiger drills the wall. Stockton obviously got a big piece of that in the 13 car. Looks like someone else, Travis Sukup maybe was involved. No, the 13 of Stockton got a big piece of it. And then the 12 of Austin Carter also with a big piece. Andrew Ruiz got sent around. And yeah, you know, that's what she wrote there in that one. So tough break for a few guys who've been running up near the front for a majority of this race, as we are under caution for the second time here. That will shake up things towards the tail end of the top 10. We still have, well, when this all cycles out, we'll have about 16-ish cars on the lead lap, which means that 6 guys are still sitting on the outside of a transfer spot. Of course, none of this is official, although this time by the flag stand it was 16 guys on the lead lap, and it's probably going to be 15. I think Ludiger is going to lose a lap here too. So 15 guys are going to be fighting for about 10 transfer spots here, and we will see how this shakes out, as still some pretty heavy hitters involved in this one. That Chadwick Rigby car that I've been talking about all afternoon, a lot of front damage on him, but here's the deal with Chadwick. He is still running 13th. That car has been strong all day. He just needs to pick up a few more spots to get himself into the transfer position. Also outside of a transfer spot right now, we have Austin Gee, another guy who's been running up front, a little bit of damage there. We'll see what he can do. Jay Dubuque, he's just been kind of biding his time out back, not a scratch on that Dubuque machine. And Dubuque, he is looking like he might be in a good position to pick up a transfer spot with all the damage to cars in front of him. Adam Padilla, he also has a little bit of damage, but that car still should be okay to go, not too much damage. And then the last car that's outside of a transfer spot, Austin Carter, he was involved in that last caution. We'll have to see what Carter has here. I haven't seen a whole lot of Carter today. We'll be curious to see what he can pull off here as this one gets down to the bitter end. We go green. We will have about 15 laps to go. We're going to take a 30-second timeout for station identification. Don't go anywhere. You are watching XCAL Racing on Telesign TV. And welcome back to Telesign TV. My name's PDJ Zeller, the voice of XCAL Racing, and you are watching heat race number 1 of 4 for the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital 150. XCAL Racing hoping to raise $500 for the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. If you'd like to donate and help out, every dollar counts. The link is in the description, and when you donate, it will get updated on the tracker on the stream, so please help us out in any way you can. We appreciate it greatly. I believe I've already raised about $390 for such a great cause. We're hoping to raise some more too. If we do hit the goal of $500, I can't give it all away because part of it's a surprise. But we are doing something new here on. Raise some more too. We're doing something new here on Telesign TV. Sorry, something goofy just happened on my screen. We're doing something new here with Telesign TV. In a couple of weeks, there's going to be a driver introduction of sorts. If we raise $500, I am going to jump through a table for my driver introduction. Even though I'm not a driver, I guess I have to have a driver introduction because I agreed to do that now, though. So we won't want to raise the $500. We're trying to put some incentives out there. If we somehow got to $1,000, the table is going to be burning. If we got to $1,500, the table was going to be burning and I was going to wear a whale costume. And if we got to $2,000, the table was going to be burning and I was going to be wearing an XCAL bikini. I don't think we're going to hit the last two. I don't even know if we're going to hit the burning table, but let's at least hit 500. Let's at least hit the table, if nothing else. Let's force me to jump through a table. I already have a table set out. I'm going to put the flammables away. I thought we might get to have a little fun. So far, not looking so great. Who knows? Maybe we'll have some big donators tomorrow, though. Hit that $1,000 goal. And, you know, the only way we're going to hit that, though, is if some of y'all start donating. So please, if you have any extra pocket change, anything you'd like to give away to help the children out, donate now. It's such a great cause. And I'm so proud of all of the members of the XCAL community already who have stepped forward and helped us make $390 already. That's pretty good. The website, not as a competition or anything, but the website tracks which organizations have raised the most money. And I believe XCAL is already up to about 7th. So, really, doing a good job already. We can do even better. We go through 3 and 4. This time by, the green flag will be coming out. Here's your top 10. Rondoletto leads. Strychar 2nd. Cody Jones 3rd. 4th, Jeff Edgar. 5th, Casey Clark Jr. 6th, Drew Chance. 7th, Simon Srigas. 8th, Travis Sukup. 9th, Andrews Ruiz. And 10th, Austin Carter. Here we go. The pace car makes that hard left-hand turn, and the green flag is out. We're down and away, and Rondoletto once again with a good jump on the get-go. Remember, these tires stay cold for a few seconds. However, unlike the last couple restarts where Kyle Strychar has been able to pull down into second, this time Cody Jones is going to challenge him. And Strychar cuts off the nose of Jones. Strychar is going to pull down in a line. I don't know how Cody Jones will feel about that one, though. We'll have to see if Jones tries to get back at him in any sort of way. And the real loser there was Jeff Edgar, who had to check up and is going to lose a couple spots due to that one. Edgar does regain his composure nicely now, as the 707 and 36 race pretty hard. Here we go. The 36 gives the 707 a shove off into the corner. Remember, racing aggressively on these first couple laps after a restart might not be the way to go about it. These cars get awfully loose here early on. We'll have to see how everyone handles it. That 36 pulls to the inside now of Cody Jones. Here's the battle for 3rd. Casey Clark Jr. Jones gets into the wall. Casey Clark now pulls to the inside, and he will take the position away. So move Clark up to 3rd, move Jones back to 4th. Edgar has positioned himself in 5th, and he has 2 guys racing awfully hard behind him. Edgar pulls to the low side, pulls to the high side is Drew Chance. Chance takes a chance up top. He's the only car up there right now, seeing if he can make things work. As we look up front, it's still Rondoletto with a couple tenths advantage right now. Battle for 2nd really starting to heat up those. That 36 is all over the back bumper of Strychar's right now. Casey Clark started 18th. Clark has already driven that machine up to 3rd, and he is not done yet. Clark works all over the bumper of Strychar's right now. He's looking for somewhere to go, and caution will fly. Jeff Edgar with issues. The 7 car, Edgar did not have issues, but behind him were issues. It actually started with Edgar in the 020. So we will get that replay up for you momentarily. So it looks like there were a lot of cars collected. Now you see the replay. So what happens is they were heading down to turn 1, and it looks like the 020 was just a tiny bit underneath Jeff Edgar, and Edgar hadn't realized it. Edgar went down and through the block. The 020 ended up going down below the yellow line, and then came back up across the 09's bumper, took him and the 09 out. The 12 also went around. So Andres Ruiz, Segris went out. That's the 12 of Austin Carter. Got a good piece of that. He should be okay to carry on. But another big wreck here in the late going of this race. And that's going to set up a restart with under 10 laps to go. Don't forget, if it gets to under 5 laps to go, XCAL Racing will not throw a caution. And with that one taking out the 020 and the 09, we are now down to just 13 cars on the lead lap. That's 13 guys fighting for 10 transfer spots as we get down to the end of this one here. Heat race number 1 has been a heat race of attrition, I think it's safe to say, as no one has been saved from this one yet. With that being said, though, I'm going to take our last 30-second timeout of the afternoon. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after these messages from our station. Good afternoon and welcome back to the St. Jude's Charity, the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital Charity 150 Heat Race number 1 of 1. My name's PDJ Zeller, the voice of XCAL Racing, and you're listening to Tella TV as we continue to pace here after the third caution of this heat race as we're on lap 26 of 35, so 10 laps to go. We're getting down to the end. Remember, 10 cars transfer to tomorrow's feature event that will take place at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Should be a doozy. Once again, though, I've been pounding the charity. We're going to pound it again. Be sure to check out the description of this stream right now. If you have any money to donate it, help out. We're trying to raise $500. That's the minimum goal. Once we hit that, not only will I jump through a table, but we will also have a competition caution with 10 laps to go tomorrow if we raise $500. So please, if you're able, help us out and see what we can raise here as St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. It's such a great cause, man, to help out those kids. Obviously, any kid that is in there with any sort of condition, we all know why children end up in that hospital for terrible conditions that are outside of their doing. It has to be a terrible and very terrible and scary time to be a child and be going through stuff like that. I'm sure you can imagine how it would feel as an adult to go through something like that. It's pretty scary and terrifying when you're an adult. When you're a child and you even have less of understanding of the things that are going on, going to those places aren't very fun, and I'm sure the conditions they have make their life not very fun. So any money that we can donate to help their time be at ease a little bit more, to help their time be any better, it really is important, and it really is a good cause. That's why XCAL Racing is running this charity race. XCAL Racing, not saying we're not charitable people, because we are. We donate money to things. But a big charity race, that's not normally something we would do, just because it has to be the right charity. We really look into where we donate to. We don't just want to donate to any cause and just be giving money to things that we really aren't trying to donate to, or the money's going into someone's pocket, not the actual charity. We looked into St. Jude's, and we decided that there was no doubt we should have this charity race. This was the type of event we wanted to put on, and for us to put on a charity race in general, it's saying a lot for the XCAL Racing League, and for this cause, it's saying a lot. We're asking you guys to all rally together. Please donate as much money as you're able, and link in the description once again. Once you make a donation, it'll pop up on the screen, and any and all money raised will obviously be going to St. Jude's Research Hospital. So please help out as this time by the pace car gets 1 lap till green. We'll be going green with 7 laps to go. Here is your running order. In first position is going to be Octavio Rondoletto. Second, Kyle Streichars. Third, Casey Clark Jr. Fourth, Cody Jones. Fifth, Drew Chance. Sixth, Jeff Edgar. Seventh, Travis Sukup. Eighth, John Schwartz. Ninth, Adam Padilla. 10th will be Jada Book. 11th, Chadwick Rigby. And the last car on the lead lap in 12th is Austin Gee, as those are the only 12 cars really left on the racetrack. This has been a race of attrition. 3 cautions in 30 laps. Not that great, and they've been big wrecks when they happen. So a lot has been going down in this one. Let's see how this one plays out. Let's see if Rondoletto can continue leading wire to wire. Can Rondoletto pull off the win and have a chance at pole position tomorrow? They come down the backstretch. That 07 of Streichars on the outside. Let's not forget that last restart, Cody Jones did pull to the inside of him. However, Streichars cut his nose off just to get down low. Will Streichars make a similar move again, or will that 36 of Casey Clark get the nose in, and can someone finally challenge the 77 car for the lead? They go through turns 3 and 4. There will be 7 laps to go when we go green. Remember, if we get to 5 to go, there will be no more cautions in this race. So 2 more laps for a possibility of a yellow, and they will be loose for the first 2 laps. On cold tires, these cars do get loose. As the pace car makes that hard left-hand turn, Rondoletto has the field at his mercy, and the flag man holds the green. He drops it. Green flag in the air. We're down and away, and Rondoletto with a great jump, and an even better jump is going to be Casey Clark Jr. on the inside. Streichars will not be able to pull the nose-cutting off move he pulled last time on Clark. Clark is there. Clark races to the inside. He drives down underneath Streichars. He gets a huge shove from the 127 of Chance. Now Clark is going to clear the 07 of Streichars. He sets his sights on the leader of Octavio Rondoletto. Strychars pulls down in third, Cody Jones down in a fourth, and Drew Chance in a fifth. And for the first time in this race, here comes the 0-1 of John Schwartz. Schwartz to the outside of Jeff Edgar for sixth. Can Schwartz make it stick up top? Let's see what he's got. Nothing doing yet. This time by the flag stand, 6 more laps to go. If they make another lap with no incident, this race will be going green to the end. Here we go, battle for fourth. It's going to be Drew Chance to the inside of Cody Jones. Chance down low, Jones on the high side. Chance gets a little bit loose as he hits that line. He slides up the racetrack now. No worse for where the 127 rages on. Now he drives underneath the 07 of Strychars. He's underneath the 07. They work down the backstretch. They are 3 wide for third. Strychars drives up to give himself some more room. Jones almost gets into the wall, and it's going to be the 127 of Chance now up to third. So for Octavio Rondoletto, it's 2 cars he's not very familiar with running behind him. Strychars slides down in the fourth, 5 laps to go. There will be no more cautions. Rondoletto throws a block. The 36 is just trying to find any way he can under the 77 car. Rondoletto continues to run well up front as now, Chance cuts off the nose of Strychars. Chance is going to hang on, and that wasn't by chance. Strychars let him have that one there as Jones works the high side. Now here we go, high side for the lead. 36 of Casey Clark looks to make his move. Clark runs up top. He's going to get a good run off the corner. Can he make a move to the high side of that 77? Here we go. Clark does go to the high side. They are side by side for the lead. This time by the stripe, it is going to be a dead heat. And it is going to be Octavio Rondoletto by 1/1000th of a second. 4 laps to go. Clark on the high side, doing all he can to get around Rondoletto. Clark continues to side draft real close and tight with the 77. The 77 gets loose. Here comes the rest of the field. Strychars jumps to the high side to help out Clark. They battle down the backstretch for the top spot. 2 by 2, they go for the lead. It's going to be the 77 continuing to hold ground down low, but that 36 refusing to give up. And Strychars cuts off Edgar, and now the 127 is going to help Rondoletto. Rondoletto gets a big push from Drew Chance. Chance jumps to the high side. Strychars thinks about making a 3 wide, thinks better of it. It's now going to be the 36 of Casey Clark. Clark once again making some sort of run on that high side. Him and the 127 get real close, but they're all going to hang out. And the 77 gets loose. The 36 has the run down the backstretch. That 127 driving aggressive all over Rondoletto's bumper. This is getting good here in the closing moments of this one. They drive off of turn number 4, this time by popsicle sticks in the air. 2 more laps to go. It's Rondoletto. He's led every lap of this race. Can he lead the final 2? It's going to be the 36 getting loose on the high side. They head down into turn number 1. The 127 giving all he has and more to that 77 of Rondoletto. They touch. The 36 and 127 crash. The 36 saves it and hangs on, but that's it. They're done. They're out of the running for the win. It is up to Kyle Strychars and Jeff Edgar to make a run at this one. They come down the backstretch into turn number 3. They're going to have one more run at Rondoletto. Can they catch him, or is Rondoletto too far ahead? Edgar gets right up on the bumper of Strychars. He gives him a push. He gives him a shove, and they go. White flag in the air. 1 more lap to go, and Octavio Rondoletto is scooting away with it. Up front, that 77 has no challenger. Does Strychars have enough time? And even if he does have enough time, if he catches them, can he make a move? They come down the backstretch. Rondoletto leads by about 4/10 as Jeff Edgar is giving all he has to Strychars. I don't think it's going to be enough. I think Rondoletto has this one in the bag. They go down into turn number 3 as Strychars makes his last push for glory. Strychars gets a big run through 3 and 4. Does he have anything coming to the wire? Here they come. He does not. Checkered flag in the air. Octavio Rondoletto takes heat race number 1. Second's going to be Kyle Strychars. Third, Cody Jones. Fourth, Jeff Edgar. Fifth, John Schwartz. Sixth, Travis Sukup. Seventh, Adam Padilla. Eighth will be Casey Clark Jr. Ninth will be Jay DeBook. And 10th will be Austin G., as that was a heck of a heat race. But Octavio Rondoletto leads wire to wire, and he takes the first of 4 heat races for the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital 150. In just a few moments, we will grab Octavio for a quick interview, so please bear with me here while we get our winner down in victory lane. As you watch Rondoletto burn him down. And it's funny, that whole race pretty much, it was Rondeletto's stride chars, 1-2. And that was how they ran at the finish. And same with Cody Jones. Seems like Cody Jones was up there for the majority of the race, too. He ended up in third after that one. And while we wait for Octavio Rondeletto, might as well just pull in our second place finisher, because on my walk down the victory lane, I did see Kyle Streichars getting out of his race car. And Kyle, I was just walking by, I figured get a quick word with you. Great finish, second place. You ran second pretty much the whole heat race. It looked like it was pretty hard to find any way around that 77. Tell me what you saw from your cockpit about trying to make a pass for that lead.
Well, this track is really hard to pass with. It's not like a super speedway with, with stock cars, so it's very difficult to pass. So it's all about trying to hang back and get a run. That's what I was doing the entire race, keeping Octavio about 0.3, 0.2 seconds ahead of me the entire time to maybe potentially try and get a run. That's exactly what I tried to do on the last lap. I just hung back, and I mean, you saw I almost had a run that could make it happen, but I just didn't have enough to finish her off.
Yeah, it did seem like coming off the corner, you were running real good there. I thought that maybe you'd have a little something there, but nonetheless, still a good second place finish. You'll be starting good tomorrow in the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital 150. So what do you think the plan is tomorrow, Kyle? You're going to be starting near the front. Got any sort of strategy in mind?
Well, I'm just going to go out there, try and light the wick, and come out with the victory. I mean, it's that simple.
All right, Kyle. Well, I will let you catch up with your crew. And on that note, I do see Octavio down there in victory lane. I make my way down to victory lane, and Octavio Rondeletto, man, talking to you in victory lane is just becoming commonplace for me these days. But another win for you here in the first heat race. It looks like you're able to just kind of keep your car in front and weren't contested too much throughout that one. Take us through the race, Octavio.
Hello, everybody. That was a fun race, staying front. I'm really happy with the result. I think I had no problem today for win, but tomorrow will be very, very fun. More cars, more laps, etc.
Yes, sir. Well, Octavio, before I let you go celebrate with your team and figure out what you want to do tomorrow, who do you got to thank? Any sponsors, crew, and team?
I want to say thanks to all the team, support, my friends, and the YouTube channel. And thank you, everybody. XCAL. See you tomorrow.
As always, a pleasure talking to you, Octavio. Thank you for stopping by. That was tonight's winner, Octavio Rondeletto. Well, that'll wrap things up here for heat race number 1 for the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital 150. If you haven't already, go down to the link in the description and donate if you're able. Every dollar helps. Every dollar makes a difference. My name's PDJ Zeller, the voice of XCAL Racing, on behalf of Tanner Kalin and everyone at Telesign TV, who does an excellent job making these broadcasts possible, pulling the strings behind the scenes, to Aaron Hillbush and everyone at XCAL Racing. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back in 50 minutes with heat race number 2. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.